over there.
You guys good?
Oh,
right.
2 thumbs up. All right.
Call this meeting to order. Opening ceremonies, Pledge of Allegiance.
We do that
Pledge of
for
Allegiance,
meetings like
yes.
this?
I didn't realize that either.
All right.
All right, I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we're rocking.
We're rocking and rolling. Roll call.
Commissioner Hoffmaster.
Here.
Commissioner House.
Yipper.
And Commissioner Lanus.
Elias is not here. All right. Approval that we do have a quorum.
Yeah. I
Approval
approve it.
of the agenda.
Yes, second.
You
I'm gonna do it.
all second
Yeah,
it.
all right.
Any discussion? All in favor with an aye? Aye. Opposed the same? Hearing none. We have an agenda. Number 2, public comments. We have any public comments? Anybody on the line?
No line. There's no line.
An homage to Commissioner Matthews.
No line.
All right, no public comments. Item number 3, new business. Fit testing equipment.
All right.
What do we got?
You have a 2-page quote here from a company that provides mechanical fit testing equipment. So this is, you wear like an N95 mask, and they need to be fit so that they actually do what they're supposed to do, which is not let in stuff around the sides. So everything does come through the mask as a filter. We don't have this type of equipment now. What we have now is like a hood and some really smelly stuff. So it takes a really long time, and it's just not very efficient. So we've had a neighbor health department come down every once in a while to do this for us. What we would like to do is invest in this equipment now. So we have a grant, one of our COVID grants, that we think will pay for this. I've sent a request out several weeks ago to see if we can get approval to move forward with the grant dollars paying for it. Still waiting. They have at least gotten back with me and said, we haven't forgotten about you.
Yeah.
But we don't have an answer yet on whether or not you can use those COVID grant funds to buy this. But what Teresa and I have discussed is that if at the end of the fiscal year there are extra funds unspent, we would like to move at that point and be able to make the move and buy this equipment. We anticipate there will be, due to some open positions that we are counting on that are unfilled.
Okay.
So either way, we feel it's a good time to move this to the board for their discussion, and hopefully they can approve this for us so that we can move.
So
when the
Becky,
time
is
right.
this PPE essentially? Is that what we're using it for? I mean,
So it's equipment that ensures that the PPE we use does its job. So
so
during,
test that.
yeah, so during COVID, at the beginning, healthcare workers used N95 masks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What we would use that for today would be when we're interacting, our nurses are interacting with like a TB case, or our doc is interacting with a TB case, to actually go out and not be concerned about contracting tuberculosis
Yeah.
themselves. So,
But this just tests that equipment then. This isn't actually paying for the N95s. This is just to test it.
It's not the N95 mask, it's just the equipment to test to make sure that they have a good fit.
So we're testing the person wearing it, that they know how to properly put it on,
Yes.
Gotcha.
not the mask itself. So the other one you have is like gas mask, stinky,
So
rotten
you
egg
see if they smell it.
Yes. Yes.
And you're saying that's not as effective.
It's just not efficient. It would take us all day to get through everybody. It's a really long time consuming process. This equipment would allow us to process through our nurses a lot faster. It's just more efficient. And our emergency preparedness coordinator should be able to be responsible for this equipment, understand how to use it, and be our tester. So that's our game plan.
State required that we get tested yearly?
It's part of OSHA that we have to protect our employees. So ensuring that they know how to wear an N95 and are protected in the work that they do, yes, we have to do that.
So this 21,000, 22,000 gets us the testing equipment.
Yep,
That's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money,
Feels
which
like
is
a lot
why
of
it's
money,
here.
All right, so how long will this last? Is this like an annual thing, or is this like, hey, we'll have this for a while?
Oh, we expect that we would have this for years.
For years, okay. So this isn't like a reoccurring expense that
No.
we're gonna have to,
Nope.
okay.
All right, let's take it and see what Mr. Matthews has to say.
Yeah. Any other questions? John, you good? All right, I'll accept the motion. Is that your motion?
I have a motion.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Further discussion? All in favor of an aye?
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed, the same. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
To recommend it to the full board. All right, letter B, AAA.
Really? Let Laura handle
Miss
it.
Laura.
Didn't we just
Hi.
do this last year?
Yes, provider, well, these are the amendments to this year's contract that you authorized during the RFP process.
My God.
Yeah, it's an annual thing, and, you know, when you make those initial awards, it's based on a certain guesstimate that
Yeah.
were given from the state. Those guesstimates have now turned into a full year statement of grant award, and we have also received our carry forward allotments from unspent dollars and fund sources last year. So these amendments incorporate all those carry forward dollars, the full year, like the real statement of grant award, which there were a few tweaks up and down. So the home delivered meals program got the biggest tweak, but then it also takes into consideration, and we talk with our providers about how their grants are going. How are operations? How are people taking up on the meals? How are people, doing with this evidence-based disease prevention program? So we ask for provider input as well. And then we have all sorts of funding rules and minimums, and all those types of requirements are at play in these amendments as well. So
Overall, you got more money, right?
overall, we did get a little bit more money, yes, and we do have some carry forward funding. We still have a little bit of American Rescue Plan Act money. We did not spend any, including some of the administrative dollars that we were awarded out of the American Rescue Plan. We carried, and they awarded it to us again in this year, what we didn't spend. So we'll have one more year to spend that. If we spend it, it'll be because we need it, or are gonna make some adjustments elsewhere and maybe put what we thought toward administration, toward purchasing services, for example, because our purchase of service budget has grown this year due to the rates that our providers renegotiated, and we needed to renegotiate to get them higher rates. So this incorporates all of those different factors, the federal and state guidelines, as well as, obviously, we hold the providers' input very highly. And, nobody said no thanks to the
Yeah,
carryover
I'm sure.
American Rescue Plan money, because there were some dollars in meals for that they didn't spend last year, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
There are some regions, just as a sidebar, that have not spent $1 of their entire American Rescue Plan Act allotment. So, and it's because they don't have home care workers, those direct care workers, to actually physically provide the hours of care. So, or meal delivery folks to deliver the meals. So it's a really tough spot that the state of Michigan is in, but that is not what we're experiencing
Yeah.
here in Branch and St. Joseph counties. Our providers, as you'll recall, wanted those dollars right away. They were able to purchase some one-time, this is super special funding, let's get some equipment and
Yeah.
replace some old kitchen equipment or old delivery vehicles. So they've really gone to use in our two counties.
How much do we have left over to spend by next year, Laura?
We have approximately $56,000 in administrative funding. And then the service dollars are along the lines of close to 40 in Title 3B. Home delivered meals around 26,000, so that's 73-ish. D, we've got about 6,500, and E as in Edward, we have about 14,000. So
14,000, okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying next year is the deadline to spend that if we,
yes, we'll have to spend it by September 30th of 2024.
you said September 30th?
Mm-hmm.
2024.
Yep. So if you'd like, I can go through each sort of provider sort of section and give you an opportunity for questions. I try to put the rationale there that helps you to understand the reason why it's there and showing in the increase or decrease column. I will tell you that first section for our operations and how we need to, utilize the funds in our community living program. The $165,000 increase is not going to stay in our to pay wages and do operational type stuff. That's to purchase services. You'll see in the rationale column. We have a lot of need for homemaking, personal care, emergency buttons, all of those services that we have to purchase. The cost has gone up and the need has gone up. The American Rescue Plan dollars, we needed to set aside a chunk of that, $30,000 toward the middle of that first section for that pass-through, the direct care worker wage increase. That's a mandate, and we only get a certain chunk out of one of our state lines to pay for it. And our providers, they have not felt the issue that other providers in the state have. So we have direct care aides that are getting paid, that are doing these hours, so they're paying those wages. Well, the
That just
grant
went
that we
up
were
again,
awarded,
too, didn't
they're proposing for it to go up again, yes.
$3 or something? Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing I
$2
just
So
got
we-
the other day showed it was gonna go through. So, because of what we have in Lansing,
Let's hope.
yeah.
So that's a pass-through. And then the obvious we've talked about already is the American Rescue Plan federal admin. That's, that's an option for us to tap those administrative dollars if and when we need them. So,
All right.
are there any
I don't
questions
really
about
need
that?
you to go through all
Okay.
this now.
Sure.
Our chair might, but, because he did drive a long ways.
Nope,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Just to give you highlights, the both transit authorities, we're gonna toss them a couple $1,000s, $5,000 for Beta. Even though she said she didn't really need it, I'm like gonna work with her to get creative on how to use it. And then, because it's special funding to help support, like, okay, then bill us for all your cleaning supplies then, because we know you're cleaning your buses more than you ever have been, those types of things. The
Well, we
St.
have
Joe
a-
Transit Authority, 10 grand
Yeah,
for,
we're getting
to
more
help the
kids
authority
and more
pay for
school
rent.
kids, so.
Yeah,
Oh.
so then she can put, other funds toward that and then back off, it-
So the transportation, have you talked to Alan about this $10,000? What is he?
he has not gotten back to me with specific information, but he said he would work with Bridget to get
Yeah.
us some numbers.
Okay.
They have gotten away from, and I can understand, talking to people when they take those ride appointments, the request for rides, they've not been asking people, is this for, are you going to your doctor to get a COVID test? Are you going to get, medicine? Are you going to get to the health department to have your immunization? They're not asking that so much, so they're really gonna have to dig a little bit to get that information.
Yeah.
But again, it's for other operational costs. They can, if they're running special hours to get people to clinics or get people
Yeah.
to get to outreach events. I mean, even those outreach events are where we have our COVID stuff. So come to visit our table and
Yeah.
the Commission on Aging, obviously, you heard at last month's board meeting, their meals program's really taking off. So she welcomed the increase in federal and state federal dollars. In-home respite is a way to use some carry forward funding. And then Title III-D is their disease prevention. They have an arthritis aquatics program, and they're working on some other projects there to use that carryover. And then in St. Joe County, again, she welcomed the meals money. They're going great guns. They wanted the 3E carry forward to do some more case coordination. Very similar, home repair. She asked for a transfer, so we just bumped, that line down and another line up, so that's a wash. But they're going to provide additional units. They're going to be able to do some additional hours of care or events and support caregivers. So, and Thurston Cares, there's some ARPA 3E. They have they're getting busy again too. You know, people
Yeah.
are feeling more comfortable about being outside of their home.
Yeah.
So that's a daytime program for respite.
Awesome. Well, thank you for putting this together for us.
Mm-hmm.
John, you want to do a motion?
I'm gonna motion to accept it, and is that what we need to do?
Yep. Move it to the full board.
Oh, yeah.
I second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor with an aye? Aye.
Alright.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Where's my little?
Cool.
I gotta
Yeah,
do
you
the-
need an apple.
I forgot to pull it out.
Dang it!
Sorry.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
Letter
to
number
even
C,
More
letter C.
fun. I will not go through the entire annual implementation
Oh,
plan
this is what I
budget.
want to hear.
You did? Okay, then I will make. I'll
You
make
guys
a
can
special.
talk offline.
So this is the planning budget that goes in with our annual planning document. And because the components of this are based on new estimates for federal and state sources, the budget is outlined for you there. There are no major, there's a little bit more meals funding that they're expecting from the feds again, but there are no
Yeah.
changes. Because all the work that the program policy and finance did to set sort of our targets and how they wanted us to spend those funds in terms of our contracts that you authorized, that's reflective again in here. So in-home services are funded basically the same, at the same level. Caregivers, all the services are funded with the same methodology as they were last year, because those committees worked really hard to say, okay, well, if we don't have a bid for this, then let's put it toward that. I followed that same rationale and those
Okay.
priorities.
Yeah.
So, we are not projecting any, again, major increases or decreases or proposing shifts that would ruffle any feathers. We've been talking to providers about it for months and months, and there were no people at our public hearing for the plan, so I'm really bummed. It's good that there's no
Yeah,
controversy.
yeah,
so
right,
that's
yeah.
fine, but-
So we'd rather stay out of the papers.
So we're staying out of the papers, and basically the biggest summary page is the one that looks like this, with the X's all over it. That just shows you how we contract for that particular service, and then the amount of dollars that includes the grants. Yeah, what page
Okay,
is
just put
it?
everything away. Then you had to-
Page 9.
Oh, look at this one.
Page 9.
Page 9. So our method of provision is there, the budgeted funds, the percent of the total. I mean, that's really our snapshot of how we either directly provide or purchase service, or obviously we contract nearly all of it.
And you posted your public hearing, what, in the paper?
Yes, sir.
And,
And on our
You
website.
know, that's gonna go away eventually. People don't read the paper anymore. I don't even know how Don Reed lives.
No, it's all done.
Well, they don't even run his articles anymore. So he has to submit like 3 a day, and they don't even know what USA is gonna print. Usually it's about worldwide stuff.
But we're mandated to do it at least in the newspaper and on our website?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, I
And so the
mean-
full draft is up online. The announcement was, made the upcoming events on our health department website. We've emailed and talked about it at all of our meetings
Yeah.
since, I think, January.
They're gonna have to readdress how we post publicly stuff for the county government and everything. Because
Yeah.
no one's reading that stuff anymore,
Right.
Yeah,
which is maybe good, but.
Yeah.
yeah.
So certainly if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Looks good. We appreciate you putting it together.
Sure.
Beautiful.
Do we want to recommend it to the full board?
I think you should.
I think you should too. I'll second that motion.
All right.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor with an aye?
All right.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. That is going to be recommended to the full board.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Number 4, public comment.
Dora Brunson just passed away.
Who's that?
Oh, boy. I don't know.
He's
who
the
it is
guy who invented World Series of Poker, Texas Hold'em.
Oh, no wonder I don't know.
Now I know who you're talking about. He didn't
It was
invent
a
it, did he?
founding father of
Huh?
Benton,
Did he?
Michigan.
Well, he was the world famous.
Yeah. I know who he was older.
He was 89.
Do you want to do like a moment of silence, or what do you think?
No, I had met the guy and talked to him, and
Did
had
ya?
pictures with him, so.
Yeah, all right.
But I probably won't go to his funeral, I don't.
Probably
think,
not.
but,
No, maybe be online.
Actually, his daughter just sent me that, so.
Okay.
Aw.
All right.
Well, if neither of you are busy Wednesday, we would love to have you in Lansing with us on the Capitol lawn for Older Michiganians Day. The
That's right.
governor
Let me
is
check.
expected.
That's right. It's coming up.
It's
coming
Wednesday, so
Is
What
Brent
time?
going?
I don't, he has not communicated that
He's coming.
I think, Laura, you're gonna leave town probably at 9:30?
Yep,
Pretty quick.
you can
Pickleball.
catch a ride. Oh,
Pickleball.
pickleball time.
One thing we got is programs, policy, and something for the
Yeah.
health department that day.
Which we're
Yes.
not, John. We're not invited to that.
We're not invited to that?
We're not
Oh,
invited to that.
all right.
That's why Laura's sticking around until 9:30 so she can attend that meeting.
Do that and then skedaddle.
Yep.
Have fun.
Thank
I
you.
think
We'll do
Tom's
that.
going, so.
I haven't heard from Tom either.
He's gonna crash it.
Crash the
He
party.
attended last year, he had a great time.
Yeah.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
a free lunch.
It is
All
a
right.
free lunch.
And me at free lunch.
Free lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Any other public comments? Anything else, guys, on the agenda? Pretty good.
Thank you for your time.
We're efficient. We don't have to motion or do anything for adjournment, right? We just walk out.
You can.
Yeah.
Can just walk out. Has he made one yet?
I think at the very beginning, I'll reach out to Commissioner Lanius and check in on him.
Yeah. Make sure he knows he's a part of the team.
Yeah, I will do that.
Especially if if I don't make a meeting, hopefully, at least I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Give you a
thank
heads
you.
up.
Yeah, like,
Or that,
I didn't plan properly and I'm late.
See, I even did that.
Wow.
I was even courteous enough to eat into Commissioner